So, in terms of the experience that I have working with kids with disabilities, it all started in 2017, so quite a while ago, when I started volunteering at Holland View Kids Rehabilitation Hospital. And I started with their arts based respite camp, working with kids with a variety of disabilities as well as kids that do not have disabilities. And I ended up working with a girl that communicated using sign language, which was really cool because I did not know sign language. And so she taught me a little bit, and we were able to work together. And there was a play that was put on at the end of the week, which was really nice. And after that, I kind of just fell in love with the program and what it stood for. So I kept going back. And I decided to go back weekly, and that's when I moved over to the BERT SODER, which is the Brain Injury Rehabilitation Program, and the surgery, after surgery. So after surgery, I worked with kids to kind of help them. So we played games and things to kind of get back to where they might have been before, or improve a little bit on some of their cognitive skills. So we did puzzles and that sort of thing. And then I switched over to working in the complex critical care unit, or continuing care unit, sorry. And there we did a whole bunch of arts-based activities, and listened to the radio, and like music sessions, things like that. And that was with clients that were mostly nonverbal, communicated in a variety of ways, so blinking, anything like that. And then after that, I worked at Holland View Summer Camp. And so the way they have a really unique program where they have half of the participants have some kind of disability and half of them don't. And it's just a fun camp where everyone gets to hang out. And I worked at the clay station. I supported some children that had some behavioral and mobility needs, and I had a really great time. And that made me kind of realize that I wanted to get into this field. And so the past couple summers, I'd been working as a one-to-one support counselor for a child with special needs. So how it worked was there'd be one child that I'd be working with, typically that had some kind of behavioral or cognitive disability, and helping to integrate them into the rest of camp. So at first I worked with a child that she had, I believe it was a learning disability, and then I worked with quite a few young boys that have autism, and I also, then the summer after that, I worked with a child that has oppositional defiance disorder, and as well as ADHD, and as I found this to be very, very helpful in learning a variety of things. Like the first year that I worked there, I had a different child to work with almost every week to 2 weeks. So I learned a lot about how every child is unique and everything needs to be adapted to them. And so starting from place of accessibility, I would call the families at the beginning of the week before the child would come, and we just have a chat and like talk about what they need, what they don't like, what their hobbies are, things like that. And then they would come to camp, we'd have a good time, I'd write a little thing at the end to kind of say how they were doing. But that was a really interesting program because it was me and this child with special needs, and then when we were integrating them into a camp group, so that was with like maybe 6-7 other kids around their age, and then another counselor. And so that was a really interesting way to do it because it meant that we could all kind of enjoy camp together. And I think that's what it's all about, is by providing the unique individualized supports to allow somebody to enjoy and have fun. And I think that's something that doesn't have to be exclusive to camp. And I think that's something that strategies to make friends and do puzzles are things that are very valuable. But I also think that there are strategies that can be developed to help with school and all of these things. And I know that it can be very hard to find like a university student tutor who provides that service and has the relevant experience, but otherwise it can get quite expensive. And so I just wanted to kind of share the experience that I have to show that I have worked with a variety of children with a variety of different disabilities, and I would love to learn a little bit about you and your child and help support them the best that I can in developing learning strategies that work for them.